Hello there, welcome back to my channel, and if you watched my last video you know what I'm going to say today. This is the Icons and Ninjago that is retiring in 2025 with comparisons that have gone in the past, something similar or the same that you can compare and hopefully give you an idea of how the one in the past did, so it should give you an idea of what's happened or what's going to happen with the ones that retired or retiring this year. Okay, if I can actually speak correctly. Yeah, so this time it's Icons, and the first one is 10297, the Boutique Hotel. That's 199.99. There isn't many hotels, so there's only one comparison. That's 21017, the Imperial Hotel, which is like a loose comparison really, because it's not an Icons, but anyway. That retired in 2015. That was £100 to buy, and at the moment it's valued at 149, which is roughly a 49% increase. But on Amazon there's people selling it for up to £384, and that's sold 2,719 sets. Next one is 10305, the Lion Knight's Castle, 344.99. I know a lot of people are interested in that one. The comparison for that one is 10676, Fantasy Knight's Castle. That retired in 2015. Now it's a bit of a loose comparison because there's a big difference in prices. That was £35 to buy, now it's valued at £90, so that's roughly 156% increase. There's none on Amazon for sale at the moment, but I do know that 4 in the last month have sold for roughly £91. So it's about right, the comparison. That sold 278 sets. Next one is 7946, the King's Castle. That was retired in 2011. That was £82 to buy. Now it's valued at 355, which is roughly an increase of 333%. Now there's none on Amazon again with that one, but I know that 12 sold in the last month on an average of £382, and that sold 2,603 sets. Next one is 10317, the Land Rover Classic Defender 90, which was £209.99. The comparison is 42110, the Land Rover Defender, which retired in 2022. That was £160 to buy, now it's valued at around 177. Well, that's just roughly an increase of 10%. But if you go on Amazon, they're selling it for up to £530, and that's sold 21,348 sets. Next one is 10325, the Alpine Lodge, £89.99. The comparison is 31048, which is Lakeside Lodge, and that retired in 2017. That was £20 to buy, and now it's valued at around 44. That's an increase of roughly 121%. If you go on Amazon, people are selling it for up to £202, and that sold 3,263 sets. Next one is 10339, Santa's Post Office, which was £89.99. The comparison is 10245, which is Santa's Workshop. That retired in 2016. That was £60 to buy. Now it's valued at 181, which is roughly a 202% increase. If you go on Amazon, people are selling it for up to £502, and that sold 8,017 sets. And that concludes Icons. I'm just going to stick one in the middle, which is Architecture. So the set retiring is 21028, New York City, $44.99. The comparison is 21023, the Flatiron, New York. That retired in 2016. That was £35 to buy, now valued at around £78, which is an increase of roughly 122%. On Amazon at the moment, people are selling it for £244, and that sold 4,357 sets. Now it's Ninjago. First one is 71815, that's Kai's Source Dragon Battle, £31.99. The comparison is 71798, that's Naya and Aaron's Baby Dragon Battle. That retired in 2024. That was £27 to buy, and at the moment it's valued at around £24, which is a loss of around 12%. That was classed as a good investment, but obviously it's only just retired, so it might increase yet. If you go on Amazon, people are selling it for up to £94. So that's a £32 set. People are selling it for up to 94 now. And they sold 1,123 sets. Next one is 71799, the Ninjago City Market, $319.99. Now obviously you know what I'm going to compare it to. 70657, the Ninjago City Docks. That retired in 2019. That was £200 to buy, but now it's valued at around £602, which is roughly a 201% increase. But if you go on Amazon, people are selling it for up to £775, and that's sold 5,227 sets. Next one is 71805 Jay's Mech Battle Pack, $8.99. Now the comparison is only a small poly bag, but it's 30291, and it's Anacondia Battle Mech, and that retired in 2015. That was only $349 to buy, but now it's valued at around £10, which is roughly a 180% increase. If you go on Amazon at the moment, it's being sold for £33, which is like literally almost 10 times what it was, and it sold 655 sets. Next one is 71813, the Wolf Mask Shadow Dojo, which is $104.99. The comparison is 71767, the Core Ninja Dojo Temple. That retired in 2023. That was £90 to buy. Now it's worth around £103, which is roughly a 15% increase. And that was given a good investment classification. But at the moment, people on Amazon are selling it for up to £328. And that sold 2,669 sets. Next one is 71818, Tournament Battle Arena, $44.99. The comparison is 2520, the Ninjago Battle Arena. That retired in 2012. That was £36 to buy. Now it's worth about £82, which is roughly an increase of 127%. If you go on Amazon, people are selling it for up to £200, and that sold 691 sets. Next one is 71819, the Dragonstone Shrine, $104.99. The comparison is 2254, the Mountain Shrine. That retired in 2011. That was £15 to buy. Now it's worth about £164, which is an increase of roughly 996%. That was given a good investment. Now at the moment there's none on Amazon or Camel3X to compare the prices, but it's a big hike in increase in percentage, and that sold 1,138 sets. Next one is 71821 Cole's Titan Dragon Mech, $89.99. The comparison is 80053 Maya's Dragon Mech, which retired in 2024. That was £75 to buy, but even though it only just retired, it's worth around £155, which is an increase of roughly 107%. Amazon, people are selling it for up to £202, and they sold 418 sets. Next one is 71822, the Source Dragon of Motion, $129.99. The comparison for that one is 70679, Legacy of the Ultra Dragon, which retired in 2020. That was £80 to buy. Now it's worth about £160, which is roughly a 100% increase. That was given a good investment classification. If you go on Amazon, people are selling that for up to £320, and that sold 1,594 sets. Next one is 71833, Raz and Arin's Superstorm Jet, $44.99. The comparison for that one is 70614, the Ninjago Movie Lightning Jet. That retired in 2018. That was £60 to buy. Now it's worth around £116, which is an increase in 93% roughly. But on Amazon, people are selling it for up to £301. So a £45 set selling for up to £301. I know you can ask anything you want, but you know, if you wait long enough, maybe it'll get there. And it sold 1,795 sets. And the last one is 71841, Dragonian Storm Village, $34.99. The comparison is 71747, the Island the Keeper's Village. That retired in 2022. That was £45 to buy. It's now worth around £51, which is roughly an increase of 14%. That's got a good investment, and at the moment people are selling it on Amazon for up to £165, and that sold 2,570 sets. Now that concludes the themes of this video. My next video will be dreams. Now I know you're all looking forward to that one. Anyway, so thanks very much for watching. Please like, comment and subscribe, and I'll see you again in the next video. Bye.